Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Ha, Racha, Kwadash, Ma'amath. Double honors to the elder apostles of GMS and their elders. Double honors to my elder, Aharawan Banyasharala of the Lions Den Camp here in Jacksonville, Florida. Salutations to the sincere Akim, pushing this truth and sincerity around the four corners of this earth. I'm Nakar Harab Banyasharala coming out of the Lions Den Camp of Yasharala here in Jacksonville, Florida. And today I'll be coming out with a little small little lesson. I don't have much of a title for it, but without further ado, I'm gonna play this little excerpt and I'm gonna get some scriptures.
China's foreign minister has warned that there will be, quote, confrontation and conflict between China and the U.S. if Washington does not change its approach to his country. Speaking on the sidelines of the National People's Congress, China's rubber stamp parliament, Foreign Minister Qin Gang blamed the U.S. for rising tension over Taiwan. He also hailed the relationship between Beijing and Moscow.
Leading countries should figure out what they want with each other. Do they want to build exclusive political blocs or foster friendship that is open and sincere? China and Russia have found a path of bilateral relations that features strategic mutual trust and good neighborliness, setting a good example for a new type of international relations.
And for more on this, let's bring in DW's Clifford Coonan. So, Clifford, does this mean now strengthen diplomatic ties between Russia and China? Just walk us through what he said.
Well, I think it definitely does. It certainly dispels anyone who thought that relations that China's backing for Russia was anything more than was it just a tacit support. Is clearly those doubts are gone. I think one of the quotes he said was, "With China and Russia working together, the world will have a driving force." Now, this sounds to me like they're talking about forming a bloc and in some ways trying to isolate the United States, because I think it marks a significant escalation in this war of words that we've been having now especially since Russia's invasion of the Ukraine.
Diplomatically or also militarily?
Well, this is always the fear, is how quickly this can spill over. And they've also, because of the situation between China and the US regarding Taiwan, you've got a whole new military dimension there.
He spoke, in fact, at length, we have to say, about U.S. relations, and he was openly critical about American policy toward Beijing. What specifically did he criticize, and did he also speak about Taiwan in that regard when it came to the U.S.?
Well, I think what's happening, Qin Gang knows the U.S. very well. He was the ambassador there. He's very experienced in U.S.-China relations. What he's doing is they're basically saying that the U.S. Forced Russia to invade Ukraine by backing Ukraine. And they're creating an equivalence to some extent with Taiwan, saying that by selling arms to Taiwan, which is a major bugbear in US-China relations, that by doing this, they're putting China into the position where it may have to act militarily. That's the background to the threat. And these are very serious, and it is an escalation in the war of words.
President Xi Jinping also speaking about Chinese-U.S. relations in a speech. He condemned what he called, and I'm reading it here, the U.S.-led suppression of China.
Mm-hmm.
What was meant by that?
Yeah, suppression, containment. He also said these are words that we know from the Cold War era. He means that and it's a common Communist Party language used to describe how the West is trying to hold China back to stop China's advance. But Xi Jinping has always stopped short of mentioning the U.S. by name. And indeed, in the speech that he gave it in Chinese, it's mentioned, but it's not mentioned in the English translation. They talk more about international issues. But it does, again, mark an escalation in what's a rhetorical war at this stage. And this is a very worrying development.
Do you think he's just playing to the domestic base here?
I don't think so, because I think there's no way that this is going to come out in English and not get back to the domestic market. So I think it marks an international. This is happening in the international arena.
DW's Clifford Coonan, thank you.
So there you have it. The Moabites ain't playing with America. Esau with his tomfoolery. And this is just to show that the Heavenly Father is stirring up these other nations to give them the face or the eyes that this picture of Samuel L. Jackson is giving from Pulp Fiction, whoever he was looking at. But this is how these nations are looking at America. This is how these other nations are looking at Esau. Yeah, Esau is looking at itself like that because they're divided right now. That's why a war is finna start. Every major war that has ever happened on the earth, well, I won't say that. Every major war that it has happened from World War One all the way up to now has been a bunch of Edomites fighting. And you have other nations join in because maybe they may have some kind of shoe or hand or foot or finger in the matter, but mainly it was a bunch of Edomites fighting each other. World War One, Edomites. World War Two, Edomites. World War Three. Now this World War Three finna involve all the nations on the earth. See, this World War Three that's kicking up, that's getting ready to kick off, that's gonna involve every nation on the planet. So without further ado, let's get right into it. This is Obadiah chapter 1, verse 1. It says, the vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai, God, concerning Edom. See, this is concerning Edom. It says, we have heard a rumor from the Lord Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. It says, arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. That's talking about America. See, an ambassador has been sent to these among the heathen. A message of destruction and judgment has been sent among the tabernacles of Edom. With these other nations, this is what, and let us rise up against her in battle. It's talking about Esau and his kingdom, the great whore that sitteth on the scarlet covered beast. That is the herd that is being raised up against in battle by these other nations. Verse 2, it says, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. So the Lord has made Esau small among the heathens. He's the least of all the heathens on the earth. The Lord has made them small, and now they are greatly despised. You got China and these other nations looking at America just like this picture of Samuel L. Jackson. How he looking? They looking at Esau like that. They looking at America the same way. That evil eye. Verse 3. It says, the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down from the ground? So Esau's pride has deceived him. He's dwelling, he's the one that dwells in the clefts of the rock. How they say the caveman or the Caucasian. That's what the word Caucasian, if you look up the definition, or i.e. the etymology, that's what Caucasian means. It means cave dweller. And he's the one that dwells in the clefts of the rock. Just look at America. It's nothing but a bunch of concrete and rock everywhere. And it says, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high. Esau, his habitation is high because he thinks that because he is in power, that he is a great statue and or status, he done said within his heart and his mind, who gonna bring me down? Esau think that he can't be brought down. America think that it cannot be brought down by the powers that run America. But that is about as far from the truth as you can be. This place can be taken down. This place is the this country is the place of unwalled. This is unwalled villages, Salakia. But Esau think can't nothing or nobody bring him down. And then you got 2/3 of our people that's second in that notion. It's thinking that, oh yeah, okay, nobody, man, America, we got this and that, boy, ain't nobody ready for America. Nah, man, that died. That died, man, that been gone. I would say that power died in the 90s, and it continued to dwindle all the way up until now. And now we have a terminology, circling the drain. This place is over with. But let's continue. It says, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord Yahweh. So though Esau, he has exalted himself as the eagle. The eagle is one of the most highest flying birds in the animal kingdom. It can literally fly over the clouds. And it says, though thou set thy nest among the stars, meaning your Esau, his space stations, his satellites, and whatever else he got up there. The Lord says, "Thence will I bring thee down." Meaning, just because you up that high, guess what? I'm gonna bring you down. Saith Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai. So Esau's gonna go down, and the Lord gonna further put it in these nations' heart, their leaders in their hearts, to continue to look at Esau, with that side eye, that evil side eye, that angry side eye, because they see the tomfoolery and the BS. I'm gonna go down to verse 7. It says, "All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border." See, all the men of the confederacy of this place, all the allies, the friends, the ones that have done business or were doing business. They've brought America even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee. Once upon a time, China was at peace with America. Once upon a time, Russia was at peace with America. Once upon a time, well, I don't know about North Korea. Or, well, once upon a time, this talk of war was not in the land, but now it is in the land. And these other nations and a lot of nations have walked away from America and joined the BRICS nations. They're now doing bilateral agreements and trades and things like that, excluding America. And it is what it is. So it says, "All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee." Once upon a time, China was at peace with America, but have now deceived America and has prevailed against America. It says, "They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee, and there is none understanding in them." So the ones that did business with this place once upon a time, they have laid a wound to this place. They have what? They have stopped dealing. No more, we'll say trilateral agreements. It is now bilateral. They bypassing America and dealing with the other countries. These other countries are dealing with themselves. So America is pretty much done. And these other nations are now side-eyeing America, ready to make a move, especially Korea. These nations are banding together. It's over for the great whore that sitteth on the scarlet covered beast. And with that, shalom.